fire burn, a thirst and desire. You transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Finish, you burst in a fire burn, a thirst and desire. You transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Deep in the dark, down on my knees, I've seen things that you wouldn't believe. I was lost until I found that I'm invincible. Nobody gon' bring me down. Here we go.
Good evening. Just adjusting the mic there. Welcome. Get this right out of the way. That's not even moved anywhere. Welcome back to another Kneejerk stream on a lovely Sunday evening. I've just had a roast dinner. Well, not just, like about an hour ago, just in case you were wondering. That was good. The potatoes were decent. Otherwise, another red arrow. I think that's my 4th red arrow in 5 game weeks now. They're not very big red arrows, but they're red nonetheless. We can't stop the rot right now. Reece James is killing me. But how are you all doing? There's some pretty decent scores. 109, 77, very nice. 95 points with Cancelo captain. Score of 155. I'm not sure that's legit. Maybe it is. 87 with Cancelo captain and Dennis off the bench for Rafinha. That's the kind of luck you need. 129, 72, 53. It's even worse than me. 89 for me up to 27k rank. Hayden, very nice. 81 points, but -4 for the transfers. Decent. Absolutely decent. 93 for Cole. 95 for Daniel. Some pretty big scores. A pretty interesting week. Like Reece James and Chilwell. I mean, even Rudiger. The Chelsea defence right now is just ridiculous. Even though there's a few things this week I was like Reece James's assist was basically a pass on the halfway line to Kante, who just ran and just smashed it with his left foot. Granted, Reece James is really good as always, so not begrudging him, but it was a pass from the halfway line. Tony's goal was straight at Darlow, although again he almost scored again anyway. What was the other thing? I feel like there was another one that was like a bit rubbish, but I can't remember who it was. Who's well owned? Oh, Jota. Although to be fair, Jota could have scored more than one. But his was a pass from Tavares. Arsenal just assisted Jota. But Jota could have scored again. So I don't begrudge any of them points, but I was just like, come on. Give us a little bit of a break. I'm not crying, and just saying what it was. It was a pass on the halfway line. I still got to think about getting Reece James soon, but yeah, Reece James does that though. He's always involved. The more passes, the higher chance of getting assists. Yeah, of course, but it literally was just a pass on the halfway line, right? Kante did all the work for that one. Yeah. But anyway, Reece James has probably got to come in for me soon. I'm not quite sure exactly how I'm going to do it yet. There's a lot. I feel like I've got a roll this week, but I'm tempted to take a hit. But Ben Foster assist as well. Yes, I can't believe that one because I don't know who it was, but someone tried to kick the ball beforehand and just missed it completely. So anyone that played Foster the last 2 weeks, penalty save and assist, absolutely happy days. Better than Ramsdale in both the weeks. Quick question in regard to Patreon. Member since the beginning. Thank you for. Is there a WhatsApp group? There isn't. No. There's no WhatsApp group. There's Slack. depending on what tier you're on, but no WhatsApp groups. Benteke and James. I don't see that happening. Kucho claims he touched it. I got to be honest, when I first saw it, I did think that he touched it. Yeah, Reece James is going to rise in price. I know. I know. Like, I've been a bit slow to some players recently, but that's just my style in terms of like waiting. Like, there's Champions League games again midweek. I don't think I can bring Reece James in now. Like, there's concerns over Jota. I've even looked at using going for a -8 this week. Let me bring my team up a second. I don't think I can do it. I think I'm too late to the party when it comes to selling Antonio. Oh, that's next week. This is this week so far. I told you Livramento, overhyped. It was Pookie as well. I think if I could go back now and get Son and Pookie and not get their points for this week, right? Get the same points as this week and go back and get Son and Pookie, would I do it? I think I probably would. And it's not even because of Son and Pookie or Kane. It's because I'd have an easier route to Jota and Reece James. Which I kind of like. I can get them both, but not necessarily this week and not without a couple of hits. So maybe if I went back again, would I do the Son and Pookie moves? Maybe. And I said, I did say I'm going to get Josh King soon. I said it, and now Josh King has scored as well. Annoyingly, I don't really want to get him in anytime soon because of the fixtures, but I might have to. So we'll have to wait and see. James will start every game. He's on ridiculous form. There surely is going to be some rotation for James and Chilwell, right? And I say that as a Chilwell owner. Surely over the next few weeks, right? There's going to be a little bit. You also said Reguilon. Yeah, to be honest, I knew the Reguilon and Emerson Royale question was probably going to come up. So even before Reguilon scored, I do think he is just the better player out of the both of them as well. So I think if Conte tries to mix it up and does try and play a midfielder as a wing back, I feel like it, and I think I said this last week, I feel like it's much more likely to happen on the right than the left. I don't think Reguilon's like Reece James, Chilwell, Trent standard or anything like that, but I do think he's better than Emerson Royale based on very small sample of watching them both as wing backs. Jota got injured, but the thing is, he got the knock with Ramsdale, and then he played on. Unless I'm remembering incorrectly, I'm sure he played on and then came off. So I don't know. I suspect that he'll be fine, but we got Champions League games, so we'll see, right? You knew King would score. No, I'm not saying that I knew King would score, but I did say I'm probably going to look at getting him soon. So I'm glad I said that before he scored. I don't know. There's loads of different ways I can play. I might go through some of the ways I can make transfers in a bit. Ogbonna played on. Yeah, fair enough. No, did he? Yeah, Ogbonna did play on, didn't he? Jota always goes off around 75. Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm not too worried. But then I don't own him anyway, so I wouldn't be worried. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with Jota. If he plays Champions League, then I could get him in this week. I just don't. I don't know if I'm. I think I've missed the boat on selling Antonio. But I did say a while back, if you do sell him, you could wait until game week 18 to bring him back. I don't think you have to bring him back in game week 16 or anything like that. Do I still think the Reguilon's nailed with Sessegnon? I mentioned Sessegnon last week. I do think there is maybe a little bit of a risk, but I think Reguilon, it's definitely his place to lose. There could be some rotation, possibly, just because there always is going to be the threat of rotation, especially over Christmas. Yeah, I think Reguilon's probably fine for now. Leeds will be disappointed. Yeah, Leeds were good, to be honest. Spurs were poor in the first half. They were poor. Second half, it got better. I mean, Son and Kane didn't really have any massive chances. Kane, there was a couple where Kane just couldn't get it out of his feet. It's a shame he wasn't playing San Marino, really. Leeds, clearly a better team. Yeah. I'm not panicking about Kane, but I mean, I do think come game week 16, I don't know if I'm going to switch to Ronaldo because I just don't think the value is there in those players, especially if I'm going to keep captaining Salah. So second half, much better for Spurs. First half, really poor. So we'll see. Look, Conte's not had much time with him still. He's got a lot of work to do, let's just say that. Where's all the Son and Kane hype? Well, everyone already owns them now, don't they? So you're not going to get as much hype. What site do you use for expected goal assists you pay? Yeah, so expected stats, you can get them you can get them on FB Ref, which are free. You can get them on Fantasy Football Scout as well, like in the members area. But you get a lot of other stuff in the members area, and you can also do like last 4 game weeks, last 6 game weeks, which you can't do on FB Ref. So yeah, I use both. I pay for Fantasy Football Scout, and I've got FB Ref as well. Jota might be rested. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, right? I don't. Champions League, anything can happen. I just don't think I want to make any early moves. Like if Foden got injured, for example, then Foden to Jota just suddenly becomes such an obvious move. If Cancelo gets injured, well, I just do Cancelo to James, you know. So I know James is going to rise in price. Jota's probably going to rise in price as well. I think I've just got to wait. I've just got to take it on the chin. I'm still in the top 100k just. I'm 99,825 according to Live FPL. Get rid of Saka. Yeah, I benched Saka this week, so I'm playing Saka this week. I think the team for this week looks okay, to be honest. For a team without Reece James and without Jota, I think it looks all right. I probably would rather, like, if I could just switch around my team willy-nilly, I'd probably rather have Jota in than Foden this week. Because I think Southampton's just an easier fixture. But I think... I don't know. I got a red arrow, but because it wasn't a very big one, I've kind of chilled a little bit on all the hits that I've been thinking about. Like, Antonio against Man City is not ideal. But I think that is my weakest link in the whole team this week. I think I've just got to play him. I could do Antonio to Tony, which I should have maybe done 2 weeks ago. The problem is, it doesn't really help me out too much in terms of future moves. Like, it just means I've got to take an extra hit to get Jota and Reece James down the line, and maybe even like extend the time I can get them. So I'm not quite sure. I think I'm going to roll this week. I like Jimenez. Jimenez has been great for me, by the way. I think Jimenez has now got like, let me just check. I think it's 6 returns in 6 games or 6 starts since I got him in against Southampton. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 6 in 7 games, but he didn't start one. He came on for 2 points against 2 minutes for Villa. That was annoying. But Jimenez has been so good, so I've got to keep him for Norwich. And I think I've got to play Saka against Newcastle. If I could do Saka to Jota for free, I would make the move. But I'd have to take a hit, and it just doesn't feel right. Like, I could do Antonio to a forward and Saka to Jota for a hit, but I think I've just got to roll with this team and just hope that Reece James doesn't get another 12 freaking pointer, and that Jota doesn't massively outscore Saka. I think they're the 2 players that I'm worried about right now on my team. Obviously, Son's a little bit of a worry, but I've got Kane, so whatever. I've made that decision. Are you not scared about Antonio being rested for Norwich? There is a chance that Antonio gets rested, yeah. I said all this before, didn't I? I said this like weeks back. I said we might not want to get him back till game week 18 because it's Norwich at home. But then again, there's going to be loads of other games around that time, so he might get rested. It's hard to know really. But then he's been playing international football. He's played a couple of the European games as well. So I don't know. They might just play him. They haven't really got anyone else that can play. So if he's fit, they'll probably just keep playing him. Daniel's number 1 in the world. Very nice. Keep going. Only another, 25 weeks to go? Easy. Yeah, look, Mane's good, but he's too expensive. There's no way I'm going to go Mane when I can get Jota for a lot less money. Like, how do you fit Mane in, to this team? You sell Kane, but it doesn't really help me. Get rid of forwards. They're all awful. Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree. I mean, to be fair, Jimenez has been fine for me. Obviously, Antonio's not been great now. The people that sold him earlier, fair play, absolute winners. Yeah, Kane probably... there's no value in those forwards, especially when you're not captaining them. I guess the fact that I'm probably going to captain Kane in game week 15 against Norwich means there is a little bit of value there, I guess. But once that's gone, in game week 16, I don't know if I'm going to switch to Ronaldo. Right now, my plan will probably be to spread the money out a bit. I mean, there's so much value in those defenders, which obviously I've been a bit slow to. And I think going for I think a forward line of Antonio, Pukki, and Josh King is probably fine. And you just transfer, you just play them and bench them when you need to. But obviously, I don't know if I'd go to 5 at the back, because I think if I add Reece James to this, who's that 5th defender? You know, is it Diaz? Well, he's missed like 2 league games now. I'm not going to go for Laporte or Stones, I don't think. So I'm not going to go for any other Man City. I don't really want to triple up on Chelsea, because who knows when you might want Lukaku back or something like that. Regulon, maybe. I think 4 at the back is probably where I will kind of stop. Obsessing about team value is the reason many players like keep Antonio when they shouldn't. Yeah, possibly. Subconsciously, that might have been a reason why I did it. Are you and other FPL content creators being stubborn with holding in Belmo? Like, again, he was a bit unlucky not to get points this week. He's hit the woodwork 7 times. The thing is, right, again, people always come and they look at a team. They're like, "Why have you got that player? Why have you got that player?" If you look at this team right now, is with no money in the bank, is Mbeumo the problem? Ask yourself that. If you had this team, you got no money in the bank, would you be doing everything you can to sell Mbeumo? To who? I've got no money. So, yes, he's been frustrating. Yes, he hasn't got as many points as we'd hoped. But he has to stay. They've still got quite good fixtures. He's still very cheap. I've got other things to worry about. Like, if I could do Mbeumo to Jota in one move, happy days. I mean, I could sell Antonio and get like Josh King and Jota. But then I'm just bringing in Josh King with, who's he got this week? Who's he got this week? Leicester away. I mean, it's not that bad actually, to be fair. But I just don't think it's a big issue, really. I mean, can we sell Mbeumo? You can sell him if you want. Like, no one's holding a gun to your head. Like, you can sell him. And he's straight up lying about not getting Ronaldo. I'm not saying I'm not getting him, but I'm saying I just don't think there's enough value there. Let's see what happens with Man United. Let's see who they get in as an interim manager. Let's see if Carrick and Darren Fletcher are still the managers by then. I just think we haven't seen anything from Man United for a while to warrant paying 12.4 million for Ronaldo when you're not going to captain him. Maybe you will. Maybe people will captain him, but Salah and Liverpool are just too good. So any time that Ronaldo has a good fixture, so does Salah. I actually think I'd be more likely, if I kept a big striker, I think I'd be more likely to get Lukaku if he was fit. Because they've got Leeds, Everton, Wolves, Villa, like the 4 games between game week 16 to 19. And the thing is, he's a bit cheaper than Ronaldo, so you get a bit more money to spend elsewhere. So I don't know about Ronaldo. I really don't know. I'm not saying no, I'm keeping my options open, but yeah, I'm not sure. Safe, I'm one of the clowns who got rid of Trent game week 7. I can get in with Walker, Reguilon and Vardy out for him, and any forward below 8.5, maybe King for a hit. Worth it. If it's for a -4, possibly, yeah. I think Trent is like one of the most... I'm not going to say anyone's essential apart from Salah, but Trent's pretty damn good. Yeah, any forward below 8.5. I mean, you could bring Jimenez in for a couple of weeks. You could bring Wilson in for a couple of weeks. But otherwise, going for someone like Josh King or Pookie, they just give you money to spend elsewhere. You don't have to play them every week. Benteke, Edouard, all these players. Benteke obviously played again. I don't know why. Maybe I need to go back and do a bit more research. Why? Because the thing that kind of puts me off Benteke is that he didn't play... I mean, it was against Man City, I guess. He only got 5 minutes against Leicester, 18 minutes against Brighton. Why was that? Did he have a knock or something? And Edouard didn't even start the last game anyway. So, I don't know which of those is always going to play. Am I mad to consider to wildcard with all 5 defenders, including Reguilon? I can still have Salah, Foden, Jota, Son, Gallagher with Pookie, Wilson and attack. No, I don't think it's crazy at all. I don't think 5 at the back is crazy at all. The only thing I will say is if the clean sheets start drying up and you get cold feet on it and then you want to redistribute the cash, it's going to take quite a few transfers. But right now, there's just no value in like Ronaldo, Lukaku, Kane. That might change. Maybe over the next few weeks, Kane will absolutely smash it. But I mean, how many goals or how many points does Kane have to get over the next 3 fixtures now to make him seem like a good value pick? Quite a lot, right? He's probably got to score. He's probably got to get like 5 returns in the next 5. Like if he gets 3 returns in the next 3, that's not value really. Consider we're not going to captain apart from maybe 1 or 2 games. So right now, 5 at the back, it's hard to argue against it. It really is. Was about 50 odd points behind you a month ago. Now a point ahead with wildcard. Very nice. When do you think I should play it? That's up to you. It's really up to you. Does your team need it? If not, yeah, you could wait to the last minute. If your team doesn't need it and you've got most of the players you want to get, just hold on to it. I don't know if there's too many more fixture swings to hold on for it, but like if you've got a decent team and you don't want to make many changes, you don't have to use it. Yeah, hold on to it. I would watch Spurs for a while before piling on their assets. Yeah, that's absolutely fair enough. I think someone asked a question on Friday's video, like, do we have to go for Spurs? I was like, no, you don't have to. You could definitely wait on. Like anyone that went for Jota over getting Son or Kane this week, happy days. I haven't got Kane or Son. Should I get one of them next week? If it fits your plans, I still think they're okay options. But obviously, the thing with Kane and Son now is most people had only planned to have them for 4 fixtures, right? So the Leeds game today, and then the next 3: Burnley, Brentford, Norwich. Obviously, they've lost one of those games now. So the longer you take to bring them in, the less chance, the less kind of good of a move that becomes. I mean, Norwich is at the end of that run, so a lot of people will want them for that fixture. So you don't have to bring them in this week. Maybe you wait till then. But then they got Brighton away, Leicester away, Liverpool at home. So they're not bad fixtures if they're playing really well. But the longer you leave it, the less chance there are of making that move, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So if you don't go for Kane or Son this week, which is fair enough, are you really just going to bring them in for Brentford and Norwich? Probably not. Depends how many spare transfers you got. Like if you're someone that's already got James, Chilwell, Cancelo, Trent. I feel like I've said those names so many times the last few weeks. Salah, I don't know, whoever else, Jota, and like you've got nothing else to do. You can get one of them for free or whatever. Then yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. How do you feel about Solskjaer leaving? I'm kind of like, it's like bittersweet. Like he had to leave. Like he couldn't carry on as manager. Like he saw the interview of afterwards. I know it was a little bit weird to do an interview like that, like an exit interview, like a public one. But like he's a legend of the club, isn't he? Like, and it was kind of sad watching him like getting upset. But he had to go. In terms of FPL, I don't think it changes very much at all. Let's see what happens over the next couple of weeks. But the coaching staff are all still the same. They're on about bringing an interim manager. So who they can get, I don't know. Someone that only wants to be there till the end of the season or is happy to be there till the end of the season. Right now, Man United players are no more appealing than they were last week, to be honest. You don't know what kind of Man United side is going to turn out. They're just not playing well. It's not cohesive in attack. Defence is awful. No Varane, no Maguire. I just, like, the fixtures are there for Ronaldo in game week 16. And again, I'm not ruling out getting him in, but right now I don't see what the rush would be to get him, to be honest. There's so many better value players. Maybe an interim manager will come in. Maybe over the next couple of games they'll look much, much better. But I'd want to see it first. But they have got the fixtures from 15, 16 onwards to consider them. But like Luke Shaw, who the hell is selling any Chelsea defenders, any Man City defenders, any Liverpool defenders to get Shaw? Nobody. So Shaw's out of the question. No one's getting any other defenders from Man United, right? So defence is gone. Then it's Ronaldo. Yeah, okay. A lot of people can get Ronaldo. Maybe Bruno Fernandes could be an option because he'll play pretty much like every game over Christmas. But he's 11.7 million for a midfield spot where people have got Jota, they got Foden, they got Salah, they maybe got Son, Gallagher, Smith Rowe. Like, I just don't know about Man United players right now. Never rule them out because the fixtures are there and we know what they can do. But Ollie leaving, I don't think it's going to change too much. I really don't. Oh, good question. Good question because I'm thinking about this myself. Who is the bigger priority, Reece James or Diogo Jota? That's a great question and it's so good. Such a good question. I don't know if I have an answer. So let me just think it out loud, right? I've got to stop looking at that Man United at home fixture as a tough one for Reece James. I think there's every chance I think Carrick's first priority for me for that Chelsea game is not to lose. Don't lose that game. So I think it's going to be. I think Man United are going to play to try and counter, and I think Reece James every chance of a clean sheet, and then probably attacking returns on top of that, especially with like Varane and Maguire. Obviously, he's going to be up against like kind of Luke Shaw. So Reece James looks great. Then Watford, who knows? The only thing is, it's 28th of November, 1st of December, 4th of December. Is Reece James going to get rested there? Jota could also get rested, I guess. And then obviously Jota takes up a nice midfield spot for not too much money. And Southampton at home is a really nice fixture this week. Then it's Everton away, Wolves away. I feel like the priority is probably Reece James. I don't know. I think I might bring Jota in first. I don't know. James is the priority unless you're terrible at FPL. That is clear. I'm pretty terrible at FPL, I guess. I'm pretty terrible at FPL. Who knows? Maybe no, I'm not going to wind people up. Yeah, no. I mean, like, I think the one thing in my head about Reece James is I watched that Burnley game and I thought to myself, how have I still not got Reece James? And then I didn't get him in the next week. So he does look pretty scary. And even if he doesn't get anything against Man United, he could get something against Watford. I do think there's a chance he missed game, but then I could say that about everyone. I could say that about every single player that's going to play over the next few. Like, if you've got a good bench, happy days, right? You just hope he stays on the bench. I do like Jota, though. I can get them both in one go, but it has to be for a -8. So Antonio out. This might be what I do next week. So Antonio out for a 4.4. Although Gelhardt, Lee's looking good. Then Saka to Jota. And then Omobamidele to Reece James. I'm not going to be able to afford that soon. I could do it for Livramento instead, but I just don't. I'm okay to take. I'm kind of telling myself take a few hits if you need to get the team a bit quicker. But taking Antonio out for a -8, I think I've just waited too long to do it. So I think my plan is going to be to roll this week, and then in game week 14, before Jimenez plays Burnley, I think I'm basically going to do the same thing, but I'd have to take out Livramento. The only thing is, it just leaves me with no bench. This would be for a -4. And the thing is, Saka's got Newcastle at home, so I don't think taking him out for a hit is the right play at all. So I've got 0.4 million resting on this. Jota and James go up. That's 0.2 million. But the only saving grace for me is that the deadline for Game Week 14 is very close to the Game Week 13 end. So I don't necessarily need to wait too long. But the only problem is then my bench is on Bamidele, might not play, Brownhill and Locadia. So the bench is awful for a few weeks until I can get rid of Spurs. And I just think, is it worth doing that when Game Week 14 and 15 are so close together? There's going to be rotation. I'll have no bench. Like, James or Chilwell could get rested. Cancelo could get rested, although he has started 12 out of 12. And obviously Jota, who knows? Who knows? I can't get rid of Kane. I can't get rid of Kane. It's just not happening. It's not happening. So I could do that. That would be for a -4. I wouldn't do it this week. And I'd be playing 4-4-2. So obviously the 4 defenders, no Brownhill, Antonio and Kane. But I don't know. You've not been aggressive enough. I know, but the thing is, it's easy to say that. But in another season where I'd play exactly the same, it might be the right plays. It's easy to say, wow, this season you haven't adapted. But I don't know. I mean, I have made some bad calls. I think like the amount of points James has got has just been crazy. You shouldn't think it's too late to sell someone. If you want someone, get them with same selling. Yeah. I don't think there is. I don't think I'm late to James or anything like that. I don't think I'm late. I don't think it's ever too late to buy him. It'd just be so gutting if you take a hit and then you get him the week he gets benched. But it is what it is. Yeah, I think I have to roll this week. I don't think there's another play. There's too much potential next week to do something. Like Jota on the brain, Reece James on the brain. I don't want to get rid of Jimenez before Norwich. Okay, I could get rid of Antonio this week, but then he's got Brighton. This fixture run's pretty good. He might get rested at some point. There is a worry around that, but I think I've got to keep him. Same people saying you're late to Reece James bought Alonso early and got burned. Yeah. I do think it's a little bit different. I think when people bought Alonso like at the end and Chilwell had started playing, I must admit myself, I did think it seems a bit risky. But But yeah, like I am late to Reece James. It has hurt me a bit over the last few weeks. Like honestly, this is all I'm trying to get out of my head because I think sometimes I'm playing on tilt. But that Foden transfer, now this is hindsight, right? This is outcome bias and all this stuff because obviously he has blanked 3 times in a row. But that move to make sure I didn't get priced out before Crystal Palace and Man United. And to be fair, Foden could have got points, especially in that Man United game. It feels like that's just killed me since because Rafinha obviously got points. I would have had money where I wouldn't have had to take hits. I probably would have been in a better position to get James and probably Jota as well. And I still don't know if I didn't own him, would I even be looking to buy Foden right now? I don't think I would. So that move is kind of like it's been like a domino effect. And again, that is hindsight because had Foden got 30 points over the last 3 games, obviously I wouldn't be complaining. And I'm not complaining, but I do think like that happens in FPL. I easily could have made that move. Rafinha could have blanked 3 times. Foden could have got 30 points. I'd be happy as. But in this particular case, it didn't go like that. It just feels like there's been a domino effect ever since. But we'll see. Foden isn't the problem. It's Mbomo taking... And Mbomo's not a problem. He's 5.5 million. What can I do with that money? Like, I agree, Foden is not a problem. Just because I wouldn't buy him now doesn't mean I want to sell him. But he's also like 2.5 million more. Best keeper 4.7 or less, so not Ramsdale. I've gone with Guaita. Yeah, I feel... The thing is, like, right? You use stats just like everyone else, right? So I'm... obviously with FPL, you always want like bigger sample sizes, but it's just not possible. So Crystal Palace looking really good. Oh wait, I'm looking at the wrong stats. Crystal Palace obviously looking there. And now they're top 5 so far this season. But obviously they've just conceded a bunch of goals. So are they still susceptible? Maybe, but probably Guaita. I think he probably is the one I'll go for. I think they look good enough where they could do well compared to like Arsenal. I don't think we should consider them like a top 3 or 4 defence. I think they probably will drop down a little bit more, but I think they're okay. Do you regret spending all that money on Kane now? Not really. Maybe a little bit. I mean, like, again, it's a bit of hindsight bias, right? Reece James doesn't... If Reece James just gets a clean sheet, no bonus, no assist, it's easy to say, obviously, then I probably wouldn't be as worried as I am now. So, who knows? All it takes is for Man United to wipe the Chelsea clean sheet, which I know is a very difficult thing to do. And suddenly I'm okay with it. But I do think, again, and things will change, because my thought process is changing every single week at the moment. I do think in Game Week 16, Kane downgrade is probably on the cards. It isn't feasible to have 4 premium defenders in Salah, Foden, Jota, Kane, Antonio. It is, but it would just take too long probably to get there for me. So, it is possible. It's just difficult. It's just going to take... It's not difficult, sorry. It just depends what situation your team's in. Although you did say Antonio, I think, didn't you? Yeah, you did say Antonio, to be fair. Yeah, no, having Antonio probably makes it quite hard. Unless you got on all these players early, because some people would have been on every single player really quick. Sorry, not Jota there. Jota here. So Jota in there, 4.5 or 4.4 million forward. Davis, where are you, my man? And then Reece James in here. So yeah, you're right. You can't have Antonio, but I mean, does that matter that much? Probably not. You can almost have Antonio, like 0.1 million off that. A lot of people will be able to afford that. So that's Antonio, 442. Livramento on the bench, Brownhill and Davis. It's probably okay. Yeah, Kane to CR7 is not a straight swap, but I should have the money, depending on how transfer plans go. Yeah. Yep. So I think, yeah, this is possible, but it's also going to cost 8 points. Sorry, that's I'm 0.1 off, so I'd have to make the Tony switch as well. Yeah, Reece James, you're killing me every single week. Would Antonio to Jimenez for a -4 be good value? No, I don't think for a -4, I probably wouldn't do it. I know it's Norwich, but I just think in a couple of weeks you want to reverse that move. Like from game week 15, Jimenez just isn't a good option. Livramento to Lamptey as fifth defender, only 0.1 million more. Yeah, I mean, like if Lamptey can stay fit, then yes, Lamptey is definitely a better option than Livramento. So yes, but it depends. Like, would I go out of my way to make that move? Probably not. If I was on a wild card or something, maybe. Rafinha to Jota is a good move, yeah, if it's for free. Money no object. Mane, Son, Jota over next 5. Well, you probably take Mane. But money is always an object. Money is always an object. It's just like I took Kane over Son. And I would have, I kind of said that, like, if money no object, you know, in isolation, if they're the same price, I'd definitely take Kane. But there is a negative to having Kane, and that is all the stuff I've just been talking about trying to get James and stuff in. Like if I had Son and Pukki, I don't know. I think Son's gone up in price now. Yeah, he's gone up in price 0.1, so I would have had 0.1 million more because I would have done the move on Friday night. So I'd have Pukki right now. I'd have this team, and I'd have 2.3 in the bank. I wouldn't have who did I have instead of Mbamdeli? Oh, I had Laporte, didn't I? So I had this would have been my team had I made the Son move. I'd have 0.7 in the bank, and I'd just be going straight from Laporte to Reece James this week. Boom. That's it. Job done. So that would be my transfer this week. I'd have this team for free. Okay, I wouldn't have Jota, but I would have Jimenez for the next 2. And then I'd switch Jimenez to Jota, and that would be it. Job done. So there's all money. Money is always an object. I don't even know if that makes sense, but you know what I mean. Money is always an issue. Yeah, Sack is the same as Mbomo. Am I happy with him? No. Should I sell him before Newcastle at home? Probably not. Sell him the week after? Yes. Kane is an enabler for CL7. Yeah. Antonio out. Go for Fornals or Bowen in game week 16. Yeah, Bowen's definitely on the watch. Bowen's definitely on the watch list. But to be honest, I might just have Bowen and Antonio. Is it worth selling Rafinha now or wait until game week 16? Thinking of switching to Gallagher. If I had Rafinha, bearing in mind, let's say if he's fit, I would probably keep him for the next 3. I thought Leeds were alright today, to be honest. I think Rafinha is their best player probably. Him and Bamford. So just wait and see. What are your thoughts on King versus Dennis? I think someone said that. Hang on. I think someone said that Dennis will, African Cup of Nations, possibly. I think that there's got to be a chance that Josh King or someone else is on penalties now, apart from Sarr, possibly, because he's missed 2 against Man United. Obviously, he missed the retake. So I think, I think Josh King. I think his numbers are a bit high, although I don't expect him to keep them up. I don't know. There's a little part of me just thinks, will Josh King now be on penalties? Kind of tempting. Against Dennis, anyway. You, like many of us, overlook Bernardo, Mr. Consistent. Yeah, I'm going to keep looking over Bernardo Silva. I mean, to be fair, he has played 90 minutes. Like, what is it now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 games in a row. To be fair, he's got 3 goals, 1 assist. Yeah, maybe I'm overlooking him a little bit. He's only 7.2, but I still think if they get the same minutes going forward, Foden outscores him. But then Foden might not get the same minutes, so you could be right. Got FPL Focal, go and follow him on YouTube if you're not already. Got the same thoughts with Smith Rowe, keeping hold for Newcastle, then Gallagher a strong option. Yeah, exactly. Like, I think people hold on to what's happened too much. Like, Saka for me has been a rubbish buy. Like, he has been rubbish. Smith Rowe has outscored him in the time that I've had him. But I have to forget about that now. Is Saka a good option against Newcastle at home? He has to be, because Newcastle are rubbish, right? Is Saka a long-term hold for me? No. I do think Smith Rowe you could hold on to. He's a bit cheaper, especially if you got on at like 5.3, 5.4 million. Because Arsenal do have some pretty nice fixtures coming up. Like, Southampton at home's not bad. Leeds and Norwich as well. Like, if you can rotate Smith Rowe around. Again, people said I had a thing against Smith Rowe because I said to bench him last week. Like I said, it was Liverpool. They lost 4-0. But now it's got Newcastle. So happy days. Best time to buy Bowen. I mean, it depends how much you can rotate him. Like, you could potentially bring him in for Brighton. But I think probably Burnley or Norwich is the better time. I think I'm holding Saka. Been a horrible pick, but dodged a fair amount of points. I know. What was the game when Aubameyang was offside and he hit that, took that goal? Oh, I did my head in. I'm probably not keeping Saka long term because he's going to be my Jota make weight. But that's the only reason. I think Saka and Jimenez would probably long term is probably better as Jota and King or Jota and Pukki. But that's yeah. That's the way I'm looking at it anyway. Overall rank number 6. Pragat. Congratulations. Hold and bomb a week or sell for Foden. Good question. I mean, Foden is the better pick, right? But if you've only got one transfer, you could hold on in Bomber and just have 2 next week and just reassess completely. Overall rank number 6. Ridiculous. Albas, 2 free transfers, 0.7 to back. Hey, Livermento to regular on a roll. Havertz and Bomber to Bernard. Foden, Bernardo, and Gallagher. Also, bench one of James Chilwell versus Man United. No, probably just playing both. Livramento and Roll sounds okay. I mean, to be honest, if Lukaku's back or Werner's back, Havertz and Mbommo to Foden and Gallagher also sounds pretty good, to be honest. But again, it's like I always say, they're 2 completely different things. On one move, you're doing your bench defender up to regular, and on the other move, you're considering taking out 2 midfielders. They're completely different transfer plans. So once you do one, it's going to affect what you do next week. Like, is rolling good? I don't know. What's your plan for the transfer next week if you have 2 free transfers? Is there something you're not sure about? You want to wait till next week? In which case, yeah, roll. If you really want Foden and Gallagher, now's not a bad time to bring them in. So they're two completely different things. I would say try and focus on what the plan is for this week and next week. Really weird season so far. Never felt comfortable in my squad. Price points all over the place. Yeah. I think part of the reason I went Kane was to get like a more my kind of style squad where I've got like a cheap bench. But to be honest, it's just not the play this season. So I do think Kane could be a mistake. Again, it's probably a little bit of hindsight because he blanked today. Let's see what he does over the next 3. Hopefully I'll be saying in 3 weeks, well, Kane was a good move, wasn't he? But yeah, it is I don't want to say, I don't know. Yeah, it is a little bit of a different season because there's so many like wing backs just doing well. But then again, Chilwell was good last year. Reece James, we always knew he'd be good. Maybe not this good, but we always knew he'd be good if he got minutes. Cancelo was good last year. So I don't know if it's that weird. But I do agree that I constantly just feel like I don't like my squad. It feels like everyone's already so far ahead on the players and the team value in particular. That I'm constantly playing catch up, and I still am. And I'm happy to take some hits, but like this week, for example, I could potentially do an Antonio to Jota swap. Like Antonio and Brownhill to Jota and a 4.4 million forward. But that then puts me into a 3-5-2, which I don't mind. But I got no way to really get rid of Saka apart from the week after do Saka and Bamidele, or sorry, Saka and Livramento to like Brown. So I'd be getting Brownhill back to fund James. So it just feels like a very roundabout way of doing it. So I think I just have to hold out this week and just hope. Like I said, hope that Saka gets close to Jota or whatever. I don't know. I mean, I guess a lot of people are going to play Reece James. So whoever my player is that I've got that people don't have because they got Reece James, I've got to hope that player does well. It doesn't block Reece James. It just means it's another hit the week afterwards to go back to a 3-4-3 or a 4-4-2 or whatever. I just don't think it's worth it. No goals again for Kane. Do you really think he's going to get double figures? No, double figures is probably quite hard, but I don't need him to get double figures. I need him to get some points the next 3 weeks, you know? But again, right now, I feel like Kane downgrade is on the cards in Game Week 16. Like this is how I foresee my transfer plans right now. They could change, right? Thoughts on selling Vardy before Watford away at home? No chance. I don't see who you'd be buying, to be honest. Antonio and Duffy to Gelhardt and Trent for free. I mean, Gelhardt's not going to be a long-term option, I don't think. As soon as Rodrigo's back, or as soon as Bamford's back, I mean, who knows when Bamford's going to be back. But Trent is better than Antonio. But Duffy's not a bad bench option. I like the idea of getting Trent, and I don't necessarily know if I like that move, but I don't know what else you can do. So if you can't do anything else, maybe it is worth it, yeah. Because I definitely think Trent is got to be in. Why didn't you go for Son if you knew Kane was a downgrade in 16? I don't know what difference it makes, because Son would have to be downgraded anyway, probably, in 16. So it probably wouldn't have made much difference. Kane has blanked all season. Yeah, and of course, if he blanks for the rest of the season, he's going to be awful, but at some point he's getting points. Surely. So this is how I foresee my transfer plan. So roll this week. In game week 14, I could do this move, like I said earlier. Could potentially do this move. Saka to Jota. And Livramento to Reece James. It is risky. And there is no way I'll have 0.4 in the bank. I'll probably have 0.2 or even less in the bank. So that's the move game week 14. I think game week 15 is a roll, or hopefully a roll. Ideally, I would do on Ramadeli to Johnson. There's something in me that just says at some point Sofal is going to get that place back. So I don't know if it's worth a transfer. The other 8 Nuri would be an option at 4.3. But again, I'm not going to have 0.4 million. And then basically roll in 15. And in game week 16, I'd probably downgrade Kane. I don't know who to. You could keep Kane for Brighton, but I think a downgrade's on the cards. And there's just so many options. And I think that's where I then have to put some money back into midfield or attack or upgrade on Ramadeli. I think kind of that's the move. But I will say, getting James and Jota and having no bench, having Chilwell, James, Cancelo and Jota in my team with quick turnaround on fixtures is so risky. It's so risky. So I don't know. We'll see. I feel like game week 14 and 15, that's the start of December. And then game week 16 is like a normal game week-ish. And then it's another midweek. So in 16, I would want to kind of sort the bench out a little bit. Kane to Calvert-Lewin, he's not even back. I don't think we should be relying on Calvert-Lewin for a transfer. Plus, he runs into Palace away, Chelsea away then. I don't think he's my Game Week 16 transfer. You never know. When you lose points to transfer, what exactly do you lose them straight away or not? You lose them once the game starts updating, basically. Should we start thinking about Sadio Mane? You can start thinking about him, yeah, but I still don't know why you'd go Salah and Mane where you can go Salah and Jota right now, personally. We'll see. Yeah, no, I do agree that a bench would be nice. It's just... Otherwise, I've got to prioritise Jota or James. I've got to be honest. I think I would probably... For my team, I think I'd probably go Jota. I think in Game Week 14, I'd probably do Jimenez and Saka to King and Jota. And just figure out Reece James and get maybe Game Week 16. I don't like it that much, though. It means having to go without Reece James for these 3 fixtures. This isn't a bad time to get him in, but... Who knows what his price will be by here. That's my biggest worry. If he keeps this up. I mean, I could get Reece James in for Jimenez downgrade. In fact, hang on, let me see this. It means keeping Saka. Yeah, see, I can't do it. 5.5 million forward. There just isn't anyone I want. I guess, unless I go Locadia, but yeah, I think realistically, if I want to keep somewhat of a bench, I've probably got to choose between Reece James or Jota. I love all the Kane outcome bias. Yeah, no, I am being a little bit. I mean, he wasn't. I don't think he was that good today, to be honest. I think a lot of people kind of built narratives on what he could. I don't know. I got him because I just know how good he is as a player in general, right? And obviously Conte is a little bit of that as well, and the fixtures are there. But it wasn't I didn't buy him thinking, well, he's just scored 7 goals for England, you know? You're overthinking this. Under Conte, Kane will be fed and score. Yeah, just not for the last 2 games. not for the last 2 games. Do Saka to Højbjerg and get enabled? No. Saka to Højbjerg? No, not this week anyway. I think I just need to roll and reassess. Who knows? If there could be a massive injury or something. Maybe Foden. Maybe Foden is the key for Jota for me. Who knows? Jonathan, thank you very much. Don't forget to give the stream a like, by the way. We're about 500-ish. Get to 1,000. Do I prefer Reguilon or James or Chilwell? I think Reece James is the one out of all those. But we shouldn't forget how good Chilwell is as well. But I think Reece James is just looking Chilwell's really great. But I think Reece James, if I was buying one right now, would probably be the one. So I would say Reece James, then Chilwell, then Reguilon. I know Spurs have got better short-term fixtures, but Chelsea defence is just better, and I think those two are better wing-backs as well. Spurs are still learning as they go, right? We did see it a bit, especially with Reguilon. He was running inside quite a bit. I think he's got a better delivery as well than Emerson Royale. But I think compared to James and Chilwell, there's just no competition. Rudiger might be a better long-term safe option, possibly. I've seen people discussing Rudiger is a safer option. Bearing in mind, he's only 0.1 less than James. It's not like you're saving $500,000 or anything. And I get it. He is probably the most nailed on Chelsea defender. But I agree with people that I wouldn't necessarily go out of my way to sell him to James or Chilwell, right? If I had Rudiger plus James or Rudiger plus Chilwell, I think you really need a luxury transfer to switch. I wouldn't take a hit to do it, right? But I don't believe that anyone saying you shouldn't sell Rudiger would pick him if they were wildcarding right now. If you're wildcarding, you're going James and Chilwell. But I do agree, if I had Rudiger, I wouldn't be going out of my way to sell him. But I wouldn't buy Rudiger instead of one of those two. I think he's missed one game, the Brentford game. I can't remember if he was injured, actually. But yeah, he is about as nailed as it gets in that team. Yeah, I quite like Cornet. Yeah, I don't think he's a bad option at all. Again, it's just fitting him in. If you got him versus Gallagher, for example, I think if you look at the fixtures, I'd rather, if it was between Gallagher and Cornet, I'd probably just be buying Gallagher right now. What about the knock on the knee for Jota? Yeah, this is all things I have to wait and see about, right? If he's out, I'm not going to buy him. I might prioritise Reece James instead. Yeah, Rudiger or Chilwell in. I have Reece James. I would be buying Chilwell. I wouldn't be buying Rudiger. Just get all 3 Chelsea defenders. Yeah, not necessarily a bad option at all. Desmond, thank you very much. Matthew, Antonio to Jota plus a 4.5 striker, or Mbommo for Jota plus 6 million striker. Antonio to Jota plus 4.5 striker, or Mbommo for Jota. I mean, Mbommo for Jota plus a 6 million strike. I'm a bit confused. Is Antonio out in both situations? I mean, having a 6 million striker plus getting rid of Mbommo is probably better longer term. Depends on if you have to play them both. If you've already got an okayish bench, then to a 4.5 striker and just get and keep Mbommo sounds pretty good to me, because I still think he's pretty good value, even though he's not scoring points. Harry, love the videos. Do I get rid of DS for Chilwell or James? I'd probably go James out of the two. Already got Cancelo, so the City defence is covered. Yeah, I think James looks slightly better than Chilwell, but again, in any given week, either of them could outscore the other one quite heavily. As a James owner, Chilwell looks the better option purely based off the eye test. Man plays number 9. Yeah, I was just looking up their stats, right, which for both of them are just ridiculous so far this year. So Reece James is on 0.55 expected goal involvement, which is just crazy. And 0.17 of that is XG. And with Chilwell, it's 0.36 and 0.19 expected goal involvements. Sorry, it's 0.36 expected goal involvement. 0.19 is XG, so slightly more goal threat maybe. I agree. When you watch them on the eye, it does always feel like Chilwell's kind of in and around the box a little bit more, like in and around the penalty spot. But the numbers are kind of siding with James. And James just looks ridiculous as well. I mean, they both look so good. I wonder if things might change if Lukaku's back. Maybe. Does that just make James better for the crossing? But it's not like Chilwell can't cross a ball, you know. I think they're both good. And maybe it's a grass is always greener scenario because I don't own James. Maybe that's what I'm saying. But I'm looking at the numbers. I think I agree on the eye test. Maybe Chilwell sometimes looks a bit more set front and centre. But I think Reece James has just been ridiculous this year, honestly. Foden's overrated. Selling for Jota. Yeah. There is probably a case to be made to sell a Foden to Jota this week. But I just think the thing about Foden is, like, I just look at these fixtures. And I just think these ones here are just so good. Now, how many games is he going to get? I don't know. But he started 8 out of the last 8, right? Since he got back into the team, so like from injury or whatever. He started the last 8 games. It's a pretty nice run. There are a lot of away games there, but we know City are going to dominate the ball anyway. So I don't really want to sell him. But I did say last pre-game week on the deadline stream, I think, and maybe one of the videos before, I lose track, that I think if I was buying Jota or Foden right now, I definitely would go Jota. So maybe that tells you what I need to know. Maybe he is the one I think is better. I do think Jota is better than Foden right now, if Jota's nailed on, which he seems to be. And again, we have to wait and see if there's any more Firmino news, right? Before last game week deadline, Klopp was saying that he's doing better, right? And he might be back sooner than we all kind of thought he might be. So there's lots of information to get still. Lots and lots of information to get. So that's why I want to need you. I'm just trying not to. Jonathan, thank you again. So Reggie or Walker to Trent for a hit. I think if you've got Cancelo, I'd probably just sell Walker. I don't know. Walker, I thought Walker played really well today. But not really from I expect him to get attacking returns perspective. And I think Reguilon might do. He's got slightly better short-term fixtures. Even though Walker definitely plays for the better defence. You can see my points. Yeah, this is the 69 points. There you go. Carlis, member for 5 months. Thank you very much. Should I get Reguilon or Royale both for attacking and sell or keep turning? I don't... Personally, I think... I know people were like sick of hearing me talk about Brentford players, but I still just think for 6.7, Tony's maybe not the best value defender because Pookie and King are a little bit cheaper. They might enable you to do a bit more. But Tony is nailed on for 90 minutes and he's on penalties. I just think he's got Everton, Leeds, Watford next 4. And then after that, you're into like the 14th of December. And okay, it's Man United, Southampton, Brighton, Man City, which is not great. And then Villa. And then Liverpool. So you could make a case to get rid of him. But he's going to, over Christmas, he's probably going to play all those games for 90 minutes or close enough. I just don't see a reason to sell him right now. I just don't really see a good reason. Should I get... I would get Reguilon still. I said that before this week. I'm going to stick with that. I just think he is... From what I've seen, which is very limited of Spurs, especially under Conte, obviously, I think Reguilon just looks like a bit of a better... overall player. Maybe I'm wrong. Like Spurs fans, if you think that's wrong, let me know. But on the eye, I just prefer Reguilon. All right, I think we are going to leave it there. We've been going about an hour. There's plenty of content to come this week. I can't wait. I almost can't wait till this week's over because I love doing content when it's quick turnarounds. Like, so from Saturday to Tuesday, back to Friday, then Wednesday or whatever. So I'm really looking forward to that. But we'll have all the usual content this week. Loads to talk about. We'll obviously do like the watch list, the transfer tips, and then as we get the Champions League matches done, we'll do the preview, team selection, and all that stuff. So please do give this a stream a like if you've enjoyed it. Let's try and get to... There's over 4,000 of you watching. Just go and hit that like button before you turn off. And obviously make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch you tomorrow. I'll be back with a watch list. I got to think about exactly what I'm going to put on there. There's lots of players on my hit list, as well as the obvious ones like Jota. Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. Please do hit that like button. It really does help out. Appreciate your support. And obviously give a subscribe or hit subscribe if you haven't already. Anyway, goodbye. Hope you enjoyed your weekend. I'll see you again tomorrow.